You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Hello, Critical Hit fans. I hope you are ready for your weekend, or if you're already into your weekend, I hope you're enjoying it. Got a lot of great things to share this week. We had so many awesome people step up to the plate in the last week to become patrons at patreon.com/major spoilers, including Bad Joke Bespoke, Cynthia, Darren, and Michael, who all became brand new patrons this week, and Robert, who increased their pledge this week. That's really great. But you know who's missing here? It's you. That's right. We would love for you to be able to listen to next week's episode before everyone else. We would love for you to be able to access character sheets. We would love for you to join us in our secret Critical Hit channel over on our Major Spoilers Discord so that you can talk all about the cool things that are going on. I also think that that's the only place where Kevin shows up online, so you can go and go into those chat rooms and talk to him directly. But the only way you can access all that stuff is when you become a patron at patreon.com/major spoilers. When you become a patron at patreon.com/major spoilers, you get access to a bunch of other stuff, bonus content, extra shows, character sheets, access to secret Discord channels. Plus, you get to join a growing community of really awesome people. All for $5 a month. I know some of you may not be able to afford $5 a month, and that is fine. Totally understand. But if you are someone that could afford $5 a month, why not support your favorite shows like Critical Hit? The more people that we have join our growing community of fans, the more things we can do, the more experiences we can create for you. And listen, all we're asking for is $5 a month at the silver level. Granted, we have other levels that you could go into as well. But did you know that there are other podcasts that use Patreon and they charge you per episode that's released? So if you're paying like $5 per episode, if they release 6 episodes that month, that's $30 that they expect out of you. We're only asking for $5. So if you can afford it and you want to see this show grow and you want to see us do a whole lot more things, then head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/major spoilers. You can listen to next week's show and I'll give you a heads up. Next week, new campaign, new characters, a new GM. Well, he's an old GM, but he's a new GM in this case. In the meantime, here is part 2 of the Magical Forest. Take care. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk with you again. Same time next week. Same podcast RSS feed. Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. We are deep in it, ladies and gentlemen. And only Rodrigo knows what's going to happen next.
That's right. So last time
on Critical
Hit, we were playing Fate.
Yes.
Fate Accelerated, in fact, where a bunch of little forest critters had successfully escaped an ambush by a bunch of giant forest beetles. Does that sound right?
That does.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
All while not dropping the cake.
That's right.
Very
also,
important.
all while carrying an enormous cake. So to start out, let's go through the characters again. So if you want to say who you're playing, and maybe a little bit of description for each character.
I'm Barry McMuffin. I'm the apprentice to the greatest baker in all of Hopland. What is that? Hopville?
Hoplington.
Hopleton. And it is my sworn duty to deliver this cake to the city, so I don't disappoint the baker.
Okay.
Also, I'm apparently 3 feet tall and wearing a little apprentice baker's cap, and around my waist I have all sorts of little spices tucked away in my pockets.
Okay. Who else?
And that's Barry McMuffin.
Yeah.
Yep. And looking at him, you may wonder, where are Crackle and Pop? Well, I can tell you where Pop is. Kenny Kablam, who is a tiny little mystic with big red pointy hair, kind of like Jim Carrey, and robes and a hat, and blows things up, and does not by any means have a voice as deep and sonorous as the one you're hearing right now.
Okay. Who else?
Autumn Leaf is the ranger. She's wearing fairly basic clothing, very well travel worn, good boots, has leaves in her hair and probably fair bit of dirt from running around and digging for a place to hide from these beetles.
Mm-hmm.
And she is accompanied by a squirrel who I think is played by Rob, who is not in this recording. Oh, there he is. Never mind.
I am. I'm right here on your shoulder.
Your name was Raspberry, and it confused me.
Yes. Oh. Yes, I am playing the Ranger's animal companion, Raspberry, a little red squirrel.
Okay.
And I am playing Clyde Clovis, the layabout, a disheveled gentleman wearing some heavily patched coveralls and has a mop of tangled curly hair, and who is lying down after the running off from some scary beetles.
Okay. So after that encounter, we'll give everybody an action point, but Barry, Autumn, and Kenny get an additional action point. So those 3 get
Sweet.
2 action points.
Is there a maximum
Because,
number of fate points that we can get?
There isn't. There's a maximum number that you can keep, but it doesn't matter because it's a one-shot, right? So
Okay. Yep.
next session, your refresh score would come into play, but you guys literally, I didn't even give you a refresh score because we're only playing one game.
So can we use
okay.
those fate points to remove stress?
No, stress just goes away. So any stress that you took, you have a little bit of time to rest. So all the stress goes away.
Boy, I wish.
So yeah, our heroes find their way to a little grove that is away from the beetles, while the beetles and the buzzy beetle eater square off somewhere now several yards away, where they won't notice the party now. What do you guys do?
I want to check the cake and make sure that it's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take a nap.
Barry can put down the cake, open the box, and it seems to be okay. It hasn't. You guys were very careful not to shift it around too much, so it's actually looking just fine.
Phew.
I'm going to look around while he's examining the cake to try to plot us our next steps on the journey, hopefully with less beetles.
Okay. You start looking around. You hear something from some brambles. It kind of sounds like somebody is talking.
I'll listen closely.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like somebody's help! Help, I'm stuck in the brambles.
Do I know of any things that mimic voices that this might be a trap, or?
Yeah, it could be. There's lots of mischievous things in the forest.
She tries to look a little closer and says are you really stuck in the brambles, or are you a spirit that's just gonna mess with me?
Oh, I would never mess with you. I'm stuck in the brambles. I'm pretty deep in there. I was looking for chocoberries.
Who are you?
My name is Edna.
Do I know anyone named Edna?
Mm-mm. No, but there are other, kind of friendly humanoid populations around the forest. It's not just the hoplets, so this could be like a, dwarf or something.
Sure. Raspberry, would you check it out?
Sure. I will run into the brush and see what I can find.
Okay. Yeah, when you run in, there is this big brambly tangle, and something does appear to be tangled in it, but it's pretty hard to tell because it's all sort of uniformly the same color. It's like a dark gray.
All right.
The squirrels have color vision.
It's actually bright yellow, but he thinks it's dark gray. No, it's
magical squirrels do.
Yeah, you're magical enough that you have a normal vision, above average vision.
Help!
A hand comes out of the brambles towards Autumn. It appears to be like the hand of a little old lady.
Help!
Oh, okay. And she'll grab the hand and try to pull her out.
Okay. Yeah, she's really, really stuck in there.
Can I try to carefully unravel some of the brambles, pull them away, chew them away, etc.?
Yep, definitely. It's still gonna take a little bit of force to get her out.
I'll try using my knife to cut some of the brambles away on my end too.
Okay.
Oh, be careful.
I'm always careful. Except for when I'm quick. Then I'm quick and careful.
Oh. Maybe those strapping boys can help.
Clyde, get over here.
Yeah, what is it?
Help this little old lady.
How can I help you?
Another hand comes out.
Take the hand.
Okay, start pulling.
Yep.
All right, yeah, you guys are making some progress, but it's still kind of slow going.
I too shall help.
Okay. When you go over to help, do you grab onto one of the hands that's already out?
No, I'll grab the third hand.
Okay. A third hand comes out.
Mm-hmm. And I pull.
Okay. Let me get an overcome check from Barry. And it's got to be either quick or careful.
I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going to be careful in this with this person. I just know that this seems to be a distraction.
Okay.
I roll
You
with
don't
3.
want to hurt the old lady.
Yeah, that's yeah. You notice a weird something weird moving along the ground towards the cake.
Ah, no, not my cake. I rush over to try to kick it out of the way.
Okay. It appears to be part of the ground when you kick it. And it its shadow kind of like scoots under the cake, and then the cake lifts up as there's this kind of like basically this like 2-dimensional like grayish shadow lifting it up.
Oh no, guys!
The hands that you guys are pulling on kind of turn to dust.
It's a trap!
What I get for being nice! Curse you,
Yeah.
fake little old lady!
Yeah, you guys, some of you at least, those who would be educated in it, recognize this as the Plorpholite.
Oh,
Some
no.
sort of mischievous creature.
Oh, my God. Plorpholites are even more dangerous than Doomaflachies.
Yeah.
We are in huge
And
trouble.
The Plorpholite is like, thanks for the cake, suckers, and starts just running away with the cake.
Eldritch Flame!
Yep,
Don't
you guys get a
torch
chance
the
to do that.
cake!
All right, so this guy takes off running, and while he does so, again, is sort of like a amorphous shadow that is like roughly humanoid. But as he runs, a pair of wings sprout out, but then he doesn't take off flying. The wings just sort of like jiggle around, and they make a noise, which you guys recognize as a buzzy beetle noise. And suddenly the trees are alive with juvenile buzzy beetles that are attracted to the noise. So let's see. The good news is you guys don't have to worry about who's carrying the cake now. I get this is this is not exactly right, but here are you guys chasing after it. Here's a bunch of bugs that are attracted to it and are gnashing, but also kind of following it. And here's the Plorpholite. Basically, you guys have to get past the beetles and try to steal the cake back from the Plorpholite in order to do this. And this will be itself an encounter. So if you have start of encounter stuff, you can use it here as well.
I'd like to use my Bond of Battle then, start of encounter, to give Raspberry an aspect. So I'm thinking something like fast on his feet, so that he can try to get a jump on this.
Sure. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Right. It's so I'll use quick because it's all.
I think it specifically says it's confusing because it says I think you have to do it carefully.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you roll too carefully. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's that's how fate words things, and it
Gotcha.
You can just read past it if you don't remember the aspects. Yeah.
I've got one.
Okay, that'll do it. No free invokes. Actually, I think you get a free invoke no matter what. So.
Sweet.
I would also like to use quick wits to figure out the best way to bring down the Plorpholite.
Okay, you're trying to discover an aspect of the Plorpholite?
Aspect of the enemy, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
2.
Okay. Yes, the Plorpholite is... So the Plorpholite doesn't understand non-Plorpholites. That's why that old lady had too many hands. So one thing that can be used against it is that it doesn't really know or care, but it doesn't know anything about you guys or your abilities, or probably even these beetles. It's just something that he discovered that he could do. So that's something you have, and you do get a free invoke of this again because Barry discovered it. It mainly goes to Barry unless he explains this to someone else.
Okay.
So how do we know if an ability is to be used at the beginning of the round? Will it actually state it?
Yep, it'll say a stunt will say at the beginning of the encounter. Okay. You can do that, and basically, some of you have things that allow you to put that give you a bonus to create an aspect, and some of you have
Mhm.
things that allow you to create an aspect for free, but then you don't get a bonus. And some of you actually ended up without anything that creates an aspect, but that's fine because you also don't want to create, you also don't want everybody always creating aspects. Anything else as we start? Okay, so basically what needs to happen here is somebody needs to overcome the wall of bugs, which is an overcome action. And then they need to do another overcome action to take the cake away from the Plorpholite.
Okay. I would like to try and overcome the wall of bugs.
Okay.
Because I have the ability to cleverly overcome an obstacle with my book magic stunt.
Okay.
So clearly, in the book on page 257, it says that the immature Buzzy Beetle is actually afraid of the noise of the Norwegian Jarlsberry.
Okay.
So, I would like to cleverly overcome it by making the noise of the Norwegian Jarlsberry, which goes like this. Yak! Yak!
Okay.
That's the noise.
All right.
So, do I have... There's nothing upon which I can call for this other than just my overcome and the stunt itself.
Correct.
Is this correct? Okay.
At least at this point. Actually, I'll say that the forest floor is still uneven.
The floor is lava?
Yeah. So
is there a way
the forest floor being uneven is probably not going to help you mimic a creature.
But wait. The Norwegian Jarlsberry noise can actually bounce off of the uneven floor and echo to make it sound like multiple Norwegian Jarlsberries on their way in.
All right, I'll allow it if you want to spend the fate point.
Yak, 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 yak. Because
I'll allow it if you want to spend the fate point.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay.
I will spend a fate point. Will that give me another +2?
That gives you another +2, yeah.
All right. So we are going to overcome the bugs with a 9.
That'll do it.
Yak, 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 yak.
The mystic makes a weird noise and scares enough bugs away that he's able to run over to where the Plorpholite is. Who wants to go next?
I will.
Okay.
Going to quickly catch up to the Plorpholite and see if we can stop him, because I don't think Raspberry can hold the cake.
Can carry the cake.
We'll use the fast on his feet. Going quick. Use fast on his feet. Can I use my limber stunt +2 to overcome rolls involving agility or stealth?
Yeah, absolutely.
6?
6 will do it.
My best roll tonight has been 0.
Ouch.
Who is next?
I'll go. I'll try basically sprinting up to the Plorpholite. She's, even though it's a creature of this forest, like so is the ranger, so she knows how to move quickly and deal with the terrain. So I'm gonna try to get close to it and get that cake.
What approach are you using?
I'm using quick.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, I got 7.
Wow. You guys are rolling high.
Except for Rob.
Well, Rob is tagging high.
That's fair.
Okay, yep. You are able to circumvent the wall of bugs by jumping on trees and, just basically are able to get around that. Who is next?
I guess it is me.
Okay.
I am going to try to get around this wall of bugs by being very methodical and noticing that these trees are full of a sticky sap. And if I run by the tree and hit it just right, it will drop a big old glop of sap on these bugs and hold them in place as I skirt around them.
Okay. Yep. That sounds good.
So I'm going to be using careful, and then I get my +2 to carefully, so I'm using methodical, which is a +2, and then I'm also using careful as a +3. Is that how that works?
Careful +3, and methodical +2 to carefully overcome an obstacle. Yeah, so 5.
Okay. I roll a 4.
Okay. You are unable to overcome the wall of bugs.
Boo! Wall of bugs.
You hit the sap, and it does kind of glop onto some of them, but then you run too close to them, and now you've got bugs sticking to you.
Ah.
And then Brian?
I'm thinking that Clyde, seeing the wall of bugs and thinking that that's too much trouble, he looks around for a old barrel hole he can just climb into and walk under past the bugs.
Okay.
So it's going to try to overcome using a clever burrow to sneak by.
Sure.
All right. 1.
Okay, that is not going to do it. You kind of get stuck in the under log or whatever.
I wasn't really trying that hard.
Okay. All right. So then the Plurfolite will look behind him and see that you guys are very close to him. And one of his shadow hands will extend and turn into a fly swatter. And basically, he's going to try to swat all 3 of you in one go. So this is an attack.
Well, he can't.
I'm going to quickly...
So yes, you each get to declare. So go ahead, Sam.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to basically quickly kip back as he even fly swats. He doesn't understand us very well. So he actually starts flying too hard and almost makes a little bit of wind. And she'll use that to just quickly dart away from him.
Okay. You're going to get that free invoke?
Yes.
Okay.
So the invoke adds what?
+2.
2? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Rob, what's Raspberry doing to not get swatted?
Actually, so if I take this invoke, am I taking it away from someone else?
Yeah, it goes away.
Okay, you know what? I'll leave it because I actually get a +2 to defend quickly anyways, so I'll leave it for someone who needs it more.
Okay.
I say I'm going to dodge roll under the SWAT to get the same +2 to defend quickly.
Okay. Coordinated dodge roll.
Yep. We practiced this.
Cool. All right, so we still have in play that non-Plurfolite thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can take it.
I probably ought to, because I don't necessarily have big giant bonuses like you guys with your bonuses. But I'm going to flashily do some sort of incredibly cute backflip thing.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
All right.
You're going.
How are you tagging the? Are you tagging the doesn't understand non-Plurfolite?
If I can, yes.
Yeah, you have to bridge that.
Okay.
How does it not understanding what you're made of help?
Right.
That?
Okay, so I have a spine and bones, and it presumes that I can't do things like this, but I'm going to do a thing that looks like I have no spine or bones. So instead of running forward towards it like we've all been doing, I'm going to run backwards and then be upside down for a moment. And it's going to be very confused at what I'm doing because it's going to be one of those cool things where you're just like, whoa, Cirque du Soleil.
Okay. Okay. Sure. I'll allow
that.
Yeah.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Let's see what it rolls.
See, I totally needed that bonus. Because otherwise I'm going to get melted.
All right.
I got melted.
Did everybody else already roll? So that's a 5, a 4, and a 4?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's going to get a 6.
Ugh.
The squirrel and the mystic are going to take 2 stress. And the ranger is going to take 1 stress. But it is going to stun you to the other side of the bug wall.
Boo. I should have taken that advantage. Oh well.
All of us?
Okay.
Back where we came from?
Yep. So let's talk about what's going on here, sort of mechanically. After you guys all go, the Pluralflight's going to take an attack, and anyone it hits is going to get knocked back. So there might be a way for you guys to get over and take the cake before that happens. If you guys want to talk about it.
Yes, let's talk about it. Tell us how that would happen.
Yeah, very much. Like, first off, what do you see when you see this battlefield?
Bugs.
I see a cake.
And my cake.
Or what don't you see when you look at this battlefield?
Us winning.
Steven.
Wow.
I mean, that's a good point.
Zing.
Why would that be? What isn't present that maybe was present in the last one?
Well, there were a lot more minions. There aren't enough aspects on here.
Things to tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Like, if you can just look at this roll, the Pluralflight gets a +6 to hit you guys, right?
Yeah, that's too much. So we need
your
to be
options.
able to
Your options are either get over there and try to tank the hit.
Yep.
Or try to figure out some way to maybe take a double action in some weird way. Also getting past the bugs is not easy. It's actually they have a plus, or it's you have to overcome a 6 to get past the bugs.
Sure.
So you guys just rolled really well that first time. So how do you guys want to approach it?
Well, we could certainly help one another. You know, what's the
getting help action?
That would definitely boost a bunch of people. But I think creating those aspects might be the best thing.
Yeah, you guys can create aspects on each other or scene aspects or whatever. I will also allow you guys to make overcome actions for each other. So if you think that your best shot is to get
someone else past the bugs,
you can do that, and then that person would still have their action, presumably, to try to take the cake.
That's cool.
Yes.
Like when you say we can put an aspect on somebody, but it wouldn't be a specific, like if I have a stunt that says put an aspect on an enemy, it wouldn't be something that we could put an aspect on somebody with that stunt.
You can try and put an aspect on the Pluralflight, and that you guys could tag it to reduce his attack.
Sure.
Ooh, that's a good plan.
So I'm guessing that I have the highest dodge. So if someone can get me past the bugs and like put an aspect on him, I can probably deal with the attack.
I can probably get you past the bugs. I have a base +5 to overcoming things stealthily.
Oh, nice.
And I can definitely put an aspect on him, but what that aspect would do would basically be, no matter what it is, it'd be a +2 or a -2 for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but once it's on there, you guys can spend action points to keep tagging it.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should have just spent whatever. Learning the system.
Yeah, fate points. Yeah.
Fate point. Yeah.
Yep. I did run a game that had action points for like 10 years, so it's hard to.
Yeah. Yep.
They're points.
Yeah.
So
player currency.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
I would like to try and sneak Autumn past the bugs.
Okay.
Basically sneaking myself and then kind of showing her the path to get him past while getting the bugs away from her.
Okay.
And I'd like to tag the uneven floors. The uneven floor.
Absolutely. Sure. You have to spend a point on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since I'm doing this stealthily, I get a +2, so I've got a +7.
Oof.
Why?
It happens. Sometimes you get sometimes you roll a -2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's
I would
next
like
in trying to get Sam over
Oh,
the?
did you want to
want to try a
reroll?
reroll?
I'm gonna do a reroll. I had 2 fate points. I might as well spend them all.
Okay. You have to
tagging fast on his
tag.
feet.
Tagging fast. Okay.
Yep. Really?
Wowie wow.
Wow.
The
Okay.
same
Good job, Rob.
I give up. I quit.
So is there a way to attack the Plorpholite from this side of the bug wall?
You can, but your attacks, an actual attack is not going to do much. There's a way to like try and put aspects on them. You can do that the way that. You
That's what I was.
would.
That's what I was thinking of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, You guys have access. Yeah, you guys don't have to be next to him to put an aspect on him. You don't necessarily have to be away from him to attack him, but generally speaking, your attacks are not going to do much to him.
Okay. Okay. So, can I see if this works? I would like to reach into my pocket and pull out a bunch of like little bits of confectionery confetti, that you might sprinkle on stuff, cupcakes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to hurl that entire bag at the Plorpholite, hoping that it'll burst and cause a distraction on the Plorpholite so that when it's trying to attack other people, it's can't figure out what all these sparkly things are flying around it.
Sure.
Is that something that I can do?
That sounds great. Yep.
Okay. I am going to try to be very careful in my aim. Okay. Whoops. So that'll give me a +3, and then I'm going to use my baking magic, which would give me a +1. I'm going to use. Do our boosts carry over from our last battle or no?
No.
Okay. Then I'm also going to use one of my fate points. I currently have 4.
Okay.
Shoot. Roll 4d(f) +3 +1 +2. And I got a 5.
Okay. That is enough for 2 free invokes.
Okay.
So we'll say covered in
distracting
sprinkles.
confetti. Yeah, covered in
Sure.
sprinkles.
That distracting confetti is fine too. Distractingly decorated.
The Plorpholite realizes it looks fabulous with this confetti all over it.
So are we all allowed to do something at this point? It's just like
you're taking turns, right? So that was Steven's turn. Rob took a disastrous turn.
I got to think.
So 3 of you are still up.
I got a thing. I would like to hex him, forcefully hexing him, to put an aspect on him.
Okay.
Okay, so he is currently covered in confetti.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
I would like to immolate that confetti, and I will put an aspect on him of Nicolas Cage at the end of The Wicker Man.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. There's something we can do later then. On our
Everybody
next
calls
action.
Nick Cage in The Wicker Man.
No, but it does involve
Actually,
flames.
I didn't like the original, or I like the original more, so we're going to go with Christopher Plummer in The Wicker Man 6. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that was your aspect plus or
Is
your
summer is it coming in?
Yeah, so that's +2 for forceful and then +2 for your stunt, right?
Yes.
Okay. So he's on fire.
Yes.
He's inside a fire basket.
Basket of fire.
Yes, basket of fire. I think. What did you roll, Steven, for 5?
I rolled a
for 2.
I rolled a 6. Yes.
Okay.
I rolled a 5. Sorry, I rolled a 5.
All right. So there you go. Who's next?
Clyde, can you get me past the bugs, or should I try to do that?
Well, Clyde's currently stuck underground. I was kind of wondering if perhaps it really wouldn't help you get past the bugs on this round, but maybe help set something up. Could he use his
this is
slacking?
looking this is looking like it's going to be a setup round.
Legit.
Yeah. But I'll be able to use my slacking magic to create a geyser to rocket me out of the ground, so I don't have to try to free myself or find my way out.
Okay.
That can then create an aspect that, help her launch over it, maybe.
Okay, sure.
All right, so using sneaking with a +2 with that stunt, and a +2 for my previous
Yep.
10. Wow, that was 4 pluses.
Okay, so you're creating an aspect here?
Yes.
All right. Let's go with geothermal instability. And yes, use your magic to find a little tiny geyser, but when between your magic and you stopping it when you jump into it, it causes this whole area of the forest to start erupting in similar geysers.
Excellent.
Sam?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what's even good now. We've got so much other aspects already. I could
You'd use that geothermal instability to boost you over the wall.
Yeah, but oh, sure, that's fair.
Yep. If you think you can tank the hit, right? Because after all you guys go, he takes a swing. So
yeah.
Is there enough aspects?
Are there enough aspects here for you to take that hit?
Yeah, I mean, I think there probably is at that point for me to tank the hit and then try to grab it on my turn, considering my dodge is already pretty good. So then, yeah, she'll try to being kind of nod out of surprise for Clyde doing something, and position herself so that she can ride one of those geothermal gusts above the bugs.
Okay. Gonna do it quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
So, So then I'll invoke the geothermal instability.
Okay.
So 9. Holy crap.
Yep, 9 will do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so all you have to do is get the cake and come back, or do we have to?
I have to not get hit, and then on my action get the cake.
Yep.
Okay.
I will point out though, if you want the cake to be pristine at the end of this, you probably need 2 people on one side of the bug wall.
Oh, that makes sense. All right. Well, I'll try to soak the hit if then you focus on getting someone else over on the other side of the bug wall.
Yeah, since you can take your move last, you can try and do it after somebody else gets through.
Yeah, exactly.
But you also have, your fate points allow you to have essentially an extra action, right?
No, not really.
It really kind of only did that with the special rules for the cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's maneuvering the cake gave you the ability to, or you could spend fate points to move the cake without spending an action.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my own fault for calling them action points all the time.
Yeah, someone who isn't a squirrel should come over and help me.
Okay. So the Plorfolite is going to again extend a shadow limb, which is going to turn into a big axe, and it's going to do a wide chopping motion at you.
But yeah, I'm gonna have it so between the smoke being generated by the basket of fire and the decorations. I think it swings pretty wildly, and it also, doesn't quite know how an axe works, because I'll go ahead and spend a fate point on not
doesn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because like that's not a thing that Poorflies carry around. It's like it's fancy, but it doesn't really know how to use it.
Ooh, shiny.
So I'll spend one of the fate points, and then so I'm evoking those 3 aspects.
Yep.
And so they stack.
They do stack.
Plus, I have my own dodge roll to defend quickly, so that's going to be a lot.
Yep.
Math.
Just go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
All right, you take it, and you get a boost because you succeed with style.
Woo!
So you're able to dodge the Pluralflight's attack.
Nice.
All right. Top of the round.
Score.
Oh, man. It's getting kind of tough. Yeah, I'm gonna say that Clyde is actually still airborne.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, who wants to go?
I can try and sneak someone past again. Third tries the charm and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use that
Who are you-
geothermal
who are-
instability one.
That's true. Who are you
Yeah.
sneaking past?
Barry.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna use the
Yeah,
geothermal
okay.
instability to basically put the geyser between the bugs and the berry and show them the timing on it. And haha!
There you go.
There you
I rolled
go.
even
Hey.
to get us up.
Did you spend any fate points on that?
I did not.
You just
I
tagged the
one of the free
geothermal instability?
geothermals. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Barry, thanks to Raspberry, Barry finds a way past the bugs without getting messed up by the bugs. What else? Who wants to go next?
I think, would it be like,
Yeah.
do we
so
want
could
more
I just?
people on the side of the wall, or
No, I think
how
that
do we need to grab the cake?
So
Yeah. Can I grab it now? And oh, sorry. Go on.
Can I add another aspect to him if I've got one active out there?
Sure.
That
Yeah, it's
might
like-
make it easier for her to grab the cake, or for someone to
Yeah,
grab
like
the cake.
right now, you guys basically have 2 rolls to try and grab the cake, and 2 people that haven't gone yet, so might as well throw some aspects on it, right?
Yep. Once again, I think I will hex him,
Okay.
and I will hex him with the aspect of slow.
Okay.
3.
All right. That is not going to get you, or it'll get you 1 free invoke, because I guess you
Okay.
always get 1 at least.
1 invoke. Okay.
1 free
Slow.
invoke, yeah. Slow.
That's good. I mean, according to my sheet here, the ladder.
Okay, so he does slow down a little bit. You got anything, Brian?
That's, largely, I was just thinking about getting past the bugs. If I was airborne, could I kind of slip my coveralls and kind of hold on to the straps and make into a makeshift parachute and cleverly ride the currents to get past them?
Yes.
Okay. I will try that.
Okay.
4.
Yeah, so it's got to be 6 to get past the bugs.
Yep. Negatory.
Okay.
One of the patches come off.
Yep, you're start losing altitude.
So if one of us grabs the cake, then what do we need to do?
So if one of you successfully grabs the cake, and there's 2 of you there, then that should be it.
Okay.
So you have to make a contested roll against them. to basically grab the cake away from him. This is an overcome action as well.
Okay. So yes, I think I want to try and grab the cake.
Okay.
And I'm going to, as I do this, I'm going to be very methodical in the way that I'm doing this. And I need to be very careful in the way that I'm grabbing this cake. But noticing that the Plorpholite is kind of holding on to that cake a little bit, I'm going to pull out a little canister of cooking oil and squirt it on the areas where he's holding the Plorpholite. I don't know if it's he, but the Plorpholite is holding the cake to help kind of grease the wheel on that. And then I think I need to use the distractingly decorated aspect because it's too busy being distracted for that as well. And then, oh man, I wonder if I should go ahead and throw in the aspect of it's slow, so any reaction that's going on, it's not going to really understand what's going on there as well.
I mean, you could throw it all in there, but I'll tell you this: using cooking oil. So two things. First off,
I was going to set the.
There's not a lot of ways to be careful about grabbing the cake away from him.
Okay.
Using cooking oil though is clever, so if you want to do it that way.
Okay. But that doesn't allow me to use my methodical aspect. That's fine. I can go ahead and be clever about it. I can throw in the baking oil and the slow and the distracted.
Okay.
And a fate point.
Okay. A fate point tagging what?
Tagging the clever, I guess. Right?
No, you have to tag an aspect.
Okay. That the Plorpholite doesn't understand what this oily substance is on it. That the Plorpholite doesn't understand these things.
Okay.
All
so
right,
you've
here we
got
go. Let's see.
You've got +6 from aspects coming in.
No, let's see. I have 2 from clever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have 1 from the baking magic.
Yep.
And then 6 from the aspects.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Okay.
I rolled for nothing on that other stuff.
Well, I got a 6.
Phew, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
You got the cake.
The giant cake box slides into my hand. Fortunately, the oil that I used is a low, the low temperature oil. So it doesn't catch on fire.
Yep. All right. You guys have the cake. What do you do?
Run.
All right. You guys take off running laterally into the forest.
Yes.
The Plorpholite is like, hey, get back here with my cake.
I'll never trust the little ladies again.
So you guys run, and wouldn't you know it, you run and run and run, and you get to the edge of the forest.
Oh, thank goodness. Did we run in the right direction, or did we run back to...
You find yourselves...
Hobbiton.
You find yourselves at the edge of what you guys call the Human Kingdom, which probably has an actual name, but...
Yeah, it's Arthur.
There is a smoky smell in the air as you guys come out of the forest. And then you realize that something might be wrong. You see some of the huts that are on the outside of the city catching on fire, and humans in horseback setting fire to things and stabbing people with spears and stuff.
This is not good.
This isn't good.
You hear somebody yell, "Death to the tyrant on his birthday!" And we will wrap it up there.
We all pull a Homer Simpson and slide back into the bushes.
Split the cake 5 ways.
5 ways.
Nobody has to know.
It's a
Yeah,
five-layer
cake,
right?
everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yep. So what'd you think, Sam? This was your first time playing Fate?
It was fun. I mean, I'm not normally as big a fan of narrative games. I'm a little bit nervous about, I guess, coming up with mechanical things on the fly. But I think that in this way,
yeah.
Because the effect is always basically the same. Like, it's not like I'm creating something that Rodrigo then has to live with for the rest of the campaign. I think it worked for me, and I thought this was a really cute idea.
And the nice thing is, one of the best things about Fate is it's a collaborative world building. So if the wizard wants to cast a cone of silence around the cake or whatever, I mean, that's something that everybody can pretty much live with. Or if you want to get wild and crazy with some of your aspects, I mean, providing that everybody's okay with it, I think that's one of the benefits of Fate. I really like the Fate system. It's super easy to learn. We should be saying Fate Accelerated because we're not doing, Fate Core.
Fate Core. Yeah.
The FAE.
I mean, it seems extremely versatile.
Yeah, and like I said, the book is. The Fate Accelerated book is only like 45 pages long, and that's everything you need to know to run a game of Fate. So it's super quick and easy to learn.
Rodrigo,
what were you going to say, Matthew?
When we put the force field around the cake, and I said, now if we can only keep it from exploding, could that not have allowed people, if I wasn't being too oblique, to blow up the shield that was there, right? That was like something they could call upon.
They could have tagged it,
right?
And I think Rob did
to blow up the shield.
Yeah,
did he? Did he blow up the shield? Okay,
he just didn't roll.
Okay, cool.
Enough.
Yeah,
I must have missed that. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Rob.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
we like your squirrel.
That's right.
Hey,
sometimes you have a character who's beloved who rolls for crap, and then they're never heard from again.
No. That would be Brian's character. We always heard from him.
Right.
So, Rodrigo, if I am not mistaken, years ago, well, not years ago, but a couple of years ago on the GM Roundtable, there was a game that we played where I gave everybody kind of a concept, and everybody had to come up with a one-shot session for that concept. And you did one about baby, who's got the baby? And you had thing about you have to either hold the baby or have to give the baby away. Is that not what you did here in this game?
It is. It's a variation on that, right? On that game, somebody's holding the baby, and the baby gave you mostly penalties, but I think a bonus to flashy. But only one player is holding the baby, right? If you get hit, you have to pass the baby to someone else.
Right.
Here, the cake requires 2 players, right? So there's always has to be like 2 players engaging with the cake. So it's a little different, but it's the same idea. It's just kind of like having a card on the board that changes the shape of the encounter, right? It's like no matter what, you always have to be concerned with the cake. So it's like the cake gives you a bonus to one of the aspects. So do you try to hold on to the cake and get that bonus? And then later on, when you get attacked, you're like, well, I maybe can't use that aspect for X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to get hit. It just adds another, literal layer of things to the game.
Yeah, it's a fun kind of hot potato thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just something I noticed the minute that it was, you have to hold on to it, and then there's a penalty. I was like, oh, this feels like the baby situation.
Yep, it's like
and
the baby.
For those of you who are not part of our patreon.com/major spoilers, we run a panel discussion every so often. We try to do it every month, called the GM Roundtable, where we sit down and talk about ways to be a better GM. And if you become a patron today, now, you can have access to all of the GM Roundtables, and you can go back and listen to that episode where everybody builds kind of a little encounter, and you can kind of hear how Rodrigo, the baby situation, how he's changed it, manipulated it, and how it works here. And you can find out more about that over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/major spoilers. So I had a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody got some tasty cake at the end of this. Hopefully we don't get into too much trouble. at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But I really enjoyed this. And thank you, Rodrigo,
got
for running
in
the
that
game
one
for us.
last shot of, burn down the patriarchy and all royals are bastards. And
to be sure, I try to end all of my one shots as though the adventure could continue.
Sure.
right,
No,
and
I
with,
like it.
with rich people burning, basically.
Well, yeah, there's that. Definitely, no love lost to the monarchy. Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be.
Well-
instead of cake, we will eat the rich.
Yep.
Yes, there you go.
Nom nom.
Will this adventure continue? You'll have to find out by tuning in next week to Critical Hit. And until then, here's hoping all of your fate dice come up all pluses.
This podcast is copyright 2022 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.